Hello everyone and welcome back to Loose Warhammer, our monthly hobby chat, hobby attempt, hobby thing. Back in the hobby, thank you.
Hobby.
Back in the Triple Crown Wargaming studio, and for once we're all here.
We are.
We're all here. It's me the Loremaster, him the Chieftain, lovely, and him the Duke.
Hello.
We'll unmute the Chieftain shortly.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
So, no guest in the studio this month. Guests are in a separate interview that you'll get to see later on.
Yes.
To just do this just for old time's sake.
Yeah, go on. Thanks.
Should have done that as we go.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
Use that later.
Yeah.
Take two. So, in an episode I'm calling the event special because it's just all about events, really.
Yeah, lots to talk about. That we've been to in the past.
Because we've had two events we've
5-6
run.
weeks?
Yeah, because it's been about 6 weeks because of the two we've run. Plus them, I've been to one. Max has been to three. Two. And
And
you've
I've
been
been
to two. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a spread. We weren't all together all at the same times. So yeah, good, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Wholesome
Lots
viewing.
of different types of events as well.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
have to say, some uncomped, obviously ours are comped. One using similar to our comp. Sort of just changed the missions, I think.
Missions were worth a lot actually in that one.
Yeah, and then one that was way more narrative as well, which I went to. So lots of different types of events as well.
Shows how healthy things are at the moment. I
Yeah.
suppose scene wise. Lots of good stuff going on, which is great.
Yeah, I think that was.
I'm just sitting here not wanting to start. Basically, I'm just looking at this this nice Blood Bowl Dwarf, and I'm like, I've got to copy this one, which I spent far too many hours painting in the first place.
No, I was just saying. I think the narrative one was because obviously it's the same weekend as your
colours, aren't you?
Yeah.
the same weekend as your competitive one, London Legends, which we'll get onto in a bit. But the narrative one that I went to was the Road to Lustria, which was up in somewhere beginning with M. Long way away.
Mumford.
No.
Mansfield? We're just making stuff up now, guys. I
think
Mansfield.
I want to say Mansfield.
A thriving gaming area, yeah.
I want to say Mansfield. It was at Sanctuary Gaming Cafe. So wherever that is, that's where it was.
Sorry, Sanctuary. We'll put it in the description.
And actually, yeah, it was really good. It was the first event that I've been to run by the Box of Frogs guys, who tried to do an event, I think it was last year, but had to change the dates for some unfortunate reason. Not sure why, but it did mean that I could go to this one, because I couldn't go to the one last year. So this was a sort of prelude campaign, or prelude day. It was just a one-dayer, running up to their Plunder of Lustria event, which is later this year, I want to say, although I cannot remember the dates. They will also be in the description.
We're on fire.
We are
on fire.
So this was very different to our narratives, which is the only other sort of narrative type event that I've come across, certainly for fantasy. But the way these guys decided to do it, so it wasn't about scoring points as such. So there was no sort of objectives in the missions. There was no sort of wasn't about killing things at all. It was all about how much of your army survived, and there was like an attrition table that units that were either killed in the battle or took, I think it was 50% casualties or were down to 25%. They then had to roll on these attrition tables at the end of every game, and there was a chance they were dead, and you wouldn't be able to use them in your subsequent games.
That's rough.
Yes.
So really, it's still the same kind of format, I suppose, because you're looking to kill them on your opponent. Does a unit roll on the attrition if you win the game?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, so really it's not like a normal game of Warhammer, it's just really just saying
don't lose your stuff, yeah.
Lovely.
So, I mean, my first game was against Tomb Kings. I took my Bretonnians. I went all out. I didn't even take a level 4. I took 3 Bretonnian Lords because it was 50% Lords and Heroes.
Wow, my word.
Because nothing says you've got no friends like that.
I didn't even take a level 4. I took 1 level 2 Wizard.
Did you take 3 Virtues of Heroism?
No. Well, I say I took 3 Bretonnian Lords. I took 2 Bretonnian Lords and a Green Knight, obviously.
So 2 Virtues of
So you
Heroism.
took 2 Virtues of Heroism?
No, I took 1 Virtue of Heroism, thank you very much. And a Virtue of the Ideal, I think?
Oh, okay, that
I was
makes
like
him
weapon
like
skill 9.
that makes him like a
Yeah.
vampire, doesn't it?
Yeah,
He's an
basically.
absolute beast. But...
Yeah, he adds 1 or 2 to all of his good stats.
all of his good stats.
Yeah, so they were pretty tanky. But yeah, I played Tomb Kings in my first game, and I was like, honestly, I'm tempted to just hold off, not really go for anything, and just keep my sort of points alive. But then I was like, nah, we're here to have fun, so charge.
That's boring.
You could also, in the first game, you could also run off the table, because there was this, like, I think it was the end of of your movement phases, you rolled a dice for each of your units, and there was a chance that they got, like, attacked by mosquitoes. And they took, like, 2d6 strength 1 hits.
Some big mozzers.
Yeah, so obviously my knights didn't care about that, but none of my knights rolled a 1, it was just my mounted yeomen, who did care about that. Lost 3 of their guys, of the 7 that I took.
I have to say,
So I was like, this is concerning.
I really feel like they shouldn't have cared about that, though.
Yeah, no, they did. And so I was like, you know what, I don't want to get eaten by mosquitoes anymore, so they ran off the table.
I see.
Yeah, and then in the second game, you had a similar to the sort of mosquito mechanic, it was the plague. So you had to...
Did you just enjoy mosquito mechanic?
Similar to the mosquito mayhem.
You had like a plague sort of mechanic, which I think you just had to roll a toughness test for.
Which is also not great for
took a wound. No, not great. No, I think you ignored armour saves that one, but you got a ward save, if I remember. But obviously that doesn't really help Bretts, because they have a rubbish ward save if it doesn't have good strength.
Yeah.
It did mean I played Dark Elves. I played Dark Elves twice, actually. Well, sort of. Twice in my last 2 games. And I played Morithai and Malekith in that game.
The mother-son duo.
The mother-son duo. And Morithai took a wound to the toughness test, which was very funny. And she then was killed by my 1 wound Pegasus unit champion. Which,
that is embarrassing.
Yeah, it was quite embarrassing. Sorry, Jane.
Did he pass his leadership test?
No, it was the Pegasus that like rolled a 6 to hit, and then wounded her. Or he might have like broke her in combat because she fluffed her attacks as well. I can't remember. But yeah,
-5 weapon skill, sir.
5 still a hit.
Minimum of 1, yeah.
5 still a hit. And then yeah, my last game was, I'm calling it Dark Elves. It was a Host of the Eternity King list.
I love it.
Or Phoenix King, the one that lets you take like the 1,000-point Malekith
That's
on
Eternity.
Seraphon, Eternity King.
Yeah.
It was literally that dragon, a unit of Blackguard,
Is
a
that a
unit
dragon
of
because
Corsairs.
it's 1,000 points?
Yeah. Unit of Blackguard, unit of Corsairs, unit of Phoenix Guard, and a unit of Sea Guard. That was the army.
Oh my.
Yeah. Up to this point, I hadn't lost anything, any sort of points-wise. I was still on my full points going into this game.
Until today.
Yeah, until that point, and then I lost a lot in that game because my entire army died, obviously. Because with no trebuchets and not even a level 4 wizard, there was really nothing I could do against that Malekith.
I'll tell you what you could do. Verge of heroism.
No, you can't.
No.
He takes 1 wound.
Takes 1 wound.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't take more than 1 wound.
No.
He's
You,
no scrub.
you were stuffed, son.
I was. But it was still a very good day. There was quite a few people there that I knew. Obviously, Jane and Dan were there. Rob and I believe Jack was there.
A friend of the channel, Rob Nixon.
Friend of the channel, Rob. Acquaintance of the channel, Rob, Jack Cropper.
So he really wants to be a friend.
Yeah. Well, never mind.
He's coming down soon, I hope. So
Yes, hopefully.
don't put him off, boys.
Yeah, I think there was 8 or 9 tables in
slowly
total.
dying over here trying to paint this gauntlet thing on this dwarf.
Yeah, I think there's 8 or 9 tables in total. Some really cool prizes actually. Some nice little, I believe they were 3D printed trophies of like demon heads, which were very cool.
I saw those actually.
Yeah, we all got a little like golden coin almost.
A doubloon.
A doubloon, if you will.
Oh,
Which was quite cool.
Treasure, that's quite cool.
Yeah, exactly. It had sort of Aztec-looking markings on it.
That's really cool.
Which was very cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're doing another one actually. So it's still the Road to Lustria. It's not quite their Plunder of Lustria campaign, but they're doing another one on the, I want to say 2nd of July. It's the first weekend in July at Bad Moon Cafe in London.
Oh yeah, that's not too far.
Which would have been a much better one for me to go to, location-wise. But
Can you not make this one now?
I think filming and
with
things
the
will
amount
get
of
in the
events
way.
we've had going on the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I've
we've got
actually-
Derby like 2 weeks after.
Yeah, I've had to actually start cancelling social events. I'm really sorry. I'd like to spend time with you, but I can't.
He's had to cancel social events.
Yeah, but I don't get a lot of those. All right, now
You
don't
want to go to them in the first place.
That's not true. That's an absolute vicious lie.
That is slander.
I'll see you in court.
Okay.
But yeah, that weekend I was enjoying myself in Lustria, slash, the north of England. It's basically the jungle. You guys...
Concrete jungle.
That could not be further away from factual.
You guys were...
In London.
In London, which...
We were in the concrete jungle.
You were in the concrete jungle.
As Alicia Keys describes New York.
But not New York. London.
London, yeah.
Concrete jungles where drinks are made of.
There's
Yes.
nothing... I don't know what the
You
next
can't
one
do.
is.
There's nothing you can't do.
Thank you.
Now
New
you're
York.
in New York.
Thank you. I'm pleased that we cleared this up.
Anyway...
I'm going to take my back and try and neaten up the mess I've made of this guy's fist.
Yeah, I'm going to mess with this. So yeah, you guys were at London Legends.
We were.
Do you want to go, Max? Go first.
I can do. I took a brand new army. I took some pointy high elves. As someone who likes to say they're from the donut. And they're from the good part of the donut. They're from Galador.
Yeah, the best part of the donut.
Best part of the donut.
The most arrogant part of the donut. And that is saying something.
Yeah, I mean, they are arrogant. Yeah, I took high elves. I took brand new list, brand new army. I took the Dragon Prince bus.
Yeah, you say it's from Galador. There were no dragons.
Yeah, Dragon Princes.
There's Dragon Princes.
There were no dragons.
The thing you have to understand, Scott,
Is
is that...
There's fewer dragons that want to wake up.
Yeah, the dragons are having a rough time, mate.
So
Right? They've been
the
carrying the load for a long
So
time.
the big thing about
It's
Galador...
time now that the Dragon
No, no,
Princes
no,
get
no.
on some horses and those
No, no,
horses
no.
share the load.
No, I'm not having this. Galador's big thing is, oh, we've got dragons, and now you're telling me they don't have dragons.
They have dragons. They just don't want to wake up.
Where were your dragons?
I need to paint up some dragons.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I've actually got quite a lot of painted dragons, but I need to paint some more dragons.
Yes.
So, anyway,
Always need more
Yeah,
dragons.
back to my campaign. The dog really does not enjoy this.
the dog was disgusted by the comments about Caledon as much as I was.
No, the dog was disgusted by the lack of dragons in Max's Galador list.
So yes, I took a dragon list.
I took a dragon list.
With
What
no
was in
dragons.
Dragon princes. So I had a prince on a horse.
it? Boo.
Not a dragon.
Not a dragon. No, I was a prince on a horse who had +3 strength and something else. I can't remember. Some other equivalent +3 strength.
I can tell you he definitely had dragon armor.
He had dragon armor.
I can also tell you he definitely had a one-up armor save.
Yeah.
He did have a one-up armor save.
That was
yeah.
probably re-rollable.
I would have thought so,
Yes.
yeah. I'm going to assume
Yeah.
Max is vaguely competent, so I'm going to say
I'm
yes.
going to assume he probably had not dragon helm, enchanted shield,
Giant shield.
and a dawnstone.
Surely.
Yeah, something. I think do I still have the list on my phone? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so it was a one-up arm save prince. Then I had a
We were so prepared for today, everyone.
then I had a level 4 on high with the book Hoeth and a 5-up ward save. I want to say.
Did you take the ward on him? Where did you put your crown?
Oh no, he had the crown. Sorry, he had a crown.
I know his list, apparently.
Yeah.
He had a crown. And
Played it
then,
the day before.
and then we had
The crown that makes him stubborn, not just any crown.
No.
Not the golden crown of Atrazar.
The one game that we actually got to play.
Practice game.
Practice game we got to play for that event,
Mm.
which we played the day before.
And then I had a noble who had the ogre blade and also a one-up armor save. And then I had my BSB who he was carrying the best banner in the banner in the book. He carried the botwood, not the unit champion.
Well, I imagine it's not on the unit champ. No.
No, on the unit standard bearer. Sorry, I'm having a mare.
Yeah, I mean, have you tried engaging your brain?
No, I'm not. Yeah, so the botwood
I
was
can't wait to not remember my list now.
botwood. You'll use the same list you take every single time. So
How dare you? There were definite changes. I had Vampire Hero in that list. That's very
Oh.
rare for me.
so yeah, then I had that. Yeah, so I had a combat noble who went on the front rank alongside the prince and the command. The unit champion had the star lance, as you do.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
really
quite
great.
good.
That's great on a unit champion.
Yeah, and then it was 11 dragon princes, I think, all told. 11 or 12 dragon princes.
It was a
11
decent
with
sized
4
unit.
characters,
Wasn't
it'd be
it?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Is that what you had?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 ranks of 5, so it was 11 dragon princes. I had, core, because you had to take the core tax,
The Cortex.
which was 20 archers, 20 spearmen, who...
Those pluses.
a friend of ours did lovingly 3D print me some Caledonian shields. They did actually look quite nice on them.
Yeah, they were nice. Yeah,
They did look very good. And then I had 2 units of Reavers, probably the best part of the core. 2 Frosties,
Obviously.
because, they're spare dragons apparently. And then that was the army, realistically.
Did they allow a compendium now? I can't remember.
They did? I want to say they did. Maybe.
Do you remember seeing anyone with it? That's a good indicator.
No, I don't think I did.
Maybe they didn't.
Maybe they didn't. You know, so yeah, that was the list.
I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, London Legends team. I can't remember if you had compendium. I'm trying to think if any.
It was coming up about 2 months ago. It was in April. And then so game 1 was against Wood Elves, which happened to have 20 Weight Watchers.
That is concerning for you.
That was a concerning start of my day's gaming.
And not something you see all that often, actually.
No, it wasn't. So
No,
it was
not in that number.
So really, it was a Wood Elf avoidance list with 20 Weight Watchers.
That's non-magical, no armor save shooting.
Yep.
That's literally the worst possible shooting for you.
Yeah.
Yep. So it wasn't a good start.
Day taking those Dragon Princes off.
I think I managed to get a 12-8. Oh no, I didn't win the game. I managed to get 8 points out of that.
Yeah, you got 8-12.
There you go. I got 8 points. So 12-8 loss to myself, which was decent.
It's not bad if you can't engage them and they've got the hard counter, which is those no armor save arrows. It's not a terrible result, really.
Game 2 was a high elf mirror match, which was lovely. Then it was against the winner of the June GT Best Painted Arby, Adam Knight.
Yeah.
I did play him. His lovely high elf one, which did look very nice. In which we had his Botwood White Lions versus all my magical attacks and my Dragon Prince bus. They fought off against each other. Guess who won that one? Not me.
I've got a strong feeling it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. But then I did have.
Did he have a Lario in the White Lions?
No.
That's
a
why.
shame. That really helped you out.
Yeah.
It would have done you a big solid.
Yeah.
Everyone gets 2 awards over that point.
Yep.
And then we had a frost heart off, which was quite fun. Because we both had IELTS, we both rolled on the Attunes of Magic and both getting double the results. Fantastic. I think at one point we had like +2 attacks or +2 strength. So that was quite fun. I think my frost heart managed to come out on top in that one. I'm thinking, maybe. I managed to win that one 11-9 because the last turn of the game, Adam charged his 1 wound frost dart into my archers, who the archers then promptly killed.
Oh.
Which was quite funny. And then they combat reformed to turn sideways to get into his deployment zone and get me the mission.
Ooh,
The missions
nice.
are worth so much.
Yeah, the missions at the event were worth 750 points.
And that was huge because it totally changed the way I played all of my games, basically.
Yeah, it was a big.
As near as makes no difference, 4 tournament points.
Yeah. It was a big swing. I think if I didn't get that, I would have lost maybe.
Basically, do the mission and get a unit of chaff and win 14-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it totally changed up how I played.
Game 3, I played all Khorne Warriors.
Ooh.
That was a fun game. I charged 2 Frost Dart Phoenixes into a unit of Khorne Chaos Warriors.
Yep.
Guess who won?
Was it the Khorne Chaos Warriors?
It was the Khorne Chaos Warriors.
Yeah.
I think I killed like 3.
That is upsetting.
They both.
Did you remember that they had Thunderstomp?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really poor dice, isn't it?
No
2 ways around that.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 for magic, so they had -1 strength. That
hurts a
really
lot.
hurts.
Yeah. So they failed it. They got in there, failed to do anything, and they both ran away.
Ugh.
That's rough.
They both rallied them on the next turn. One managed to fly away. One got charged by them again. And I think got cut down, which was upsetting. But the Dragon Prince bus did pull out some work in that game. It did a 10-inch charge into his Chaos Lord Knight unit.
Yep.
Killed them.
Nice.
Killed them, and then turned around and got reared by 2 chariots and fronted by another chariot.
Ooh.
And then killed all those chariots.
Nice.
The characters will do big damage to those
Yeah.
chariots. So.
The prince one-banged the chariot.
I mean, that is particularly spicy.
4
but,
hits. 4 hits, 4 wins.
What if they're
Unheard of,
if they're Khorne chariots? You 3 hit for reroll. It's a little bit above the averages.
Yeah.
And 2's to wound. I mean, if you get 4 hits, you got a really good shot at just banging the chariot. It's got no armor against you because you're strength 7.
So yeah, one banged the chariot in that one. Turn
It's
round.
quite funny.
Turn around and then he killed the other chariots. The Frost Dart managed to get his revenge. The last Frost Dart managed to get his revenge on the Warriors Gauss and cut them down as well.
Nice.
Which was quite
Got
nice.
the points from in the end.
Yeah, so I think I won that one. I want to say between 18 to 20. I can't remember how much.
It was quite
I won
a big
that.
one then.
Yeah, it was quite a big win.
Do you remember who you played?
I don't remember his name now.
No. That's upsetting.
Sorry.
Sorry, whoever took that all Khorne Warriors army to London.
Game 1 I played against Marvin, I want to say.
Melvin.
Melvin.
I played him in game 2.
Yes, you played against him. So I played against Melvin in game 1. Game 4 was against Will Quick's Lizardmen.
Ooh.
Will Quick had a bit of a heavy night the night before. And then
Not that any bearing on the outcome.
his mind was a bit scrambled and he completely forgot that you can't particularly chaff off a Frost Dart. So he put some skinks in front of the Frost Darts and the Frost Darts went and see you later.
Yeah.
And I had both Frost Darts and the Dragon Princes charge into his horde of Saurus Warriors.
That is not going to go well for those Saurus.
No, and they all died in one turn.
Yeah.
That's a big turn, but I suppose it's not impossible with the amount of dice you throw.
No, Will was running triple Stegodons, which was a bit of an interesting one. Once the Dragon Prince made that charge, they were kind of out of the way for 2 turns, so he did have some chances to run rampant. I did have Fiery Convoc on his Temple Guard for about 3 turns, which pretty much brought them down to about 10 or 12 models. It was a horde of 40 Temple Guard as well.
Oh.
So there wasn't a lot of Temple Guard left at that one. But in the end, I think it was a 14-6 win to me.
Okay.
I think he managed to clear out a lot of my core.
That is the weak area for High Elves.
Yeah.
They can just drop a lot of points out of their core.
It's 625 points you're going to lose at that point.
Yeah.
So I think he cleared up all my core, and then that game. So 14-6 to me. And then game 5 I played against Drew Chance and his Bretonians.
Oh, I love
And
Drew.
got horrendously stomped.
Really nice as well.
I was rolled over. It was not a good game for me.
I tell people all the time, I think Bretts are really hard for High Elves.
Yeah, I found that out.
And people tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but I see it time and time again.
So I played against Drew. I lost that one 20-0. It was a horrendous loss.
Drew is very good with his.
He was very
He knows
good.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I think
Did Drew have any unicorns? That'll tell you if Compendium was allowed.
I think it's the exact same list he took to our event.
Oh, well, that's unhelpful.
Well, then yes, he would have.
So
Yeah.
Compendium probably was allowed, but it wasn't necessarily that heavily.
Yes, because he had an unwritten hippogriff.
Oh, then yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Compendium in some form was allowed.
Yeah, so I lost against Drew, and I think overall I came like 14th.
Remember how many people were there roughly?
40.
Do you know how much, James? 40-ish people?
I want to say 40 people.
Yeah.
I think I was like in
my head.
the low, sort of the high teens, low 20s. In terms of my placements,
Okay.
So like low 20s, high
So you've gone
teens.
from 14
to somewhere like
18.
17.
Yeah, something like
18.
I can't remember where I came, to be honest, guys. It was
He's literally gone from 14 to Club 1830.
yeah. You know what, guys? I'm gonna walk out this door. I'll turn this studio around.
Okay.
Rip it off its hinges and we'll turn it around. But yeah, so
There are no hinges in here.
there's hinges on the door.
It's not the studio, it's just a door.
Yeah, so overall it was a good weekend for me. I enjoy using the High Elves. It did make me want to go back to my Warriors.
I enjoyed using High Elves. I don't want to use them. I want to use something else.
I like things that are tough. That's what I just heard from Max.
Yeah.
What I was lacking was a good doctor.
I like things that are not toughness 3.
That was an issue. There was a lot of toughness 3. I was like, yeah.
Do you know
I'll
what?
tell you what, in game 4 though, my Spearman did manage to kill a Stegodon.
Ridiculous.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He charged me like I had 21 attacks. Being on 3 through rolling. Couple of 6s through.
That's ridiculous. I'm assuming it was already wounded.
I think it had taken like 2 wounds maybe.
That's ridiculous. That's really good.
It wasn't an ancient, so I had a 4 palm save.
Yeah, but still.
No, it's good roll out for the Spearman.
Trying to cover the label on this bottle.
So overall, it's a good weekend for myself. I enjoyed it. The store itself was it was a big store.
It was Darksphere, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Darksphere.
it's big, but it definitely, it's weird. It's big, but it felt a bit cluttered in ways.
Yeah, they basically blocked off all, like, you can't go to the shelves and everything like that. They blocked off all the tables. So it felt you were very enclosed.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. It did feel close, didn't it? Even though it was quite large.
Penned in, as it were.
Yeah, even though it was quite large.
So, yeah, it was a Shepherd's Bush. Had a lovely Eggs Benedict both mornings.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't remember the second morning, but the first
I don't think you got
morning,
breakfast the second
I
morning.
might not have, yeah, to be fair.
But yeah, so that was my weekend at London Legends.
Yeah.
What about you, my good sir?
I went undefeated London Legends.
Yeah.
There was
Alright,
some
big man.
squeaking in there.
Big
There
man.
was some squeaking results in there though. So day one wasn't my best ever tournament day, it's fair to say. I played Francesco game 1, he had demons, just didn't really want to go for me. I just couldn't.
Yeah, Kairos.
Yeah, to be fair, I just couldn't make a lot happen. I pit shades. So I took my vampires, sorry. It was...
He says it
Obviously. Like anyone was questioning later.
I took
I'm gonna
Empire
take-
Members.
I'm going to take something different now. I'm going to take vampires.
I was going to take High Elves to the one that you guys went to as well, the one day, but
the
obviously
one
I
dayer.
just got caught up with organising things for the GT, went a bit behind, and so I ended up doing that. But instead of being able to attend, but the reality is that I took vampires, and I took. Look, everyone knows that the spine of my list remains largely the same. I took a vampire on foot as a lord that's got like a blend of 5,000 going on. I took a level 4 wizard so that I've split my wizard and my vampire up.
Took 2 gooses.
I took 2 gooses. I took some crypt horrors because I really rate them, and then normally I flavour around that. So this time I took a vampire hero with Laura Shadow, which I don't normally do. That let me take Book of Arcane. I took 2 units of Hex Wraiths.
You do usually take Hex Wraiths though.
Yeah, but I didn't take any Calm Wraith heroes, which is a big one for me, which I normally have. Excuse me, and I didn't take any Vargulfs, which I also really like, but
missed out on Vernon.
Yeah, so the first game was tricky for me. It just didn't want to run really. It wasn't. I went for the mission quite hard because I thought I'll go for the mission and see if I can draw him in.
Mission 1 was the hill.
It was hold the centre of the table basically, and I held it and got the mission points for it, and that made it 10-10. Yeah. But he just sort of stood off me and did lots of damage to me, and things just didn't really want to run. I can't really say like there was lots of charges that came in and things that went certain ways. I probably wasn't playing my very best Warhammer either because it's the first game I'd played with the vampires in like 6 months or 8 months. So
demons are a funny one for Hex Wraiths because as much as they're really good against the like greater demons, if you can get there, even like demon chaff will just kill them. So you can't just sort of put them in front. Whereas normally if you come up against like, I don't know, high elves or literally any other army, you can just put the Hex Wraiths in front of their chaff, know that you don't have to worry about them because no chaff's got magical attacks.
Yeah, I think I lost one unit. I did fight some Furies with them and actually come out on top, which was quite nice. Well, the Furies fluffed a little bit, and then I got the Hex Wraiths out with other bat related means. But it was 10-0. I wasn't looking for a blockbuster performance. I didn't think my army was going to be the best for fighting him anyway. Yeah. When I looked at what he had, I thought it's going to be really hard for me. He was quite manoeuvrable. He had some Seekers. He had Kairos.
Sneshi Heralds.
He had lots of Sneshi Heralds,
horses or
on Steeds Sinesh, he obviously took the Lash, which let him have a shooting attack against me, which is really useful.
Very good against.
I was just lucky, I think, and grateful that he didn't have skull cannons, because if he'd had skull cannons to fight me with, I think I'd have probably lost because he'd have got the gooses. Yeah, quite comfortably. Yeah. I mean, look,
and they're pretty good against Hex Wraiths as well.
They're good against everything.
When you grape shot and DS5.
So game 2, I took on Melvin's Wood Elves. Yeah. Which was quite avoidancy, and he had a bust of Sisters, which was really the sort of core of his army. So again, not a matchup you really fancy as a vampire, but
no.
I pushed him into a flea on the big bust by charging it with big terrifying monsters. Yeah. And then he fled to just sort of near the board edge, and he was 21.5 away from a bat swarm. Yep. So that was like 1,000 points. Yeah. That went off. That I didn't actually then have to fight, and I hadn't really lost anything.
We're going to say that the bus ran off the board, yeah? Yes.
What do you mean?
You ran off the board. You didn't say you ran off the board though.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, it was 1 inch in the board edge and I played a charge in it for a bat swarm. I thought, we could have probably all infer what happened next.
Point out to the people.
So it ran off and that was 1,000 points I didn't have to do any work for. Yeah. So that was really rotten for him. I don't think he'd spotted the bat swarm potential, if you know what I mean. And
Bash foul.
And I'd gambled on this idea that if he went for the flea, I might be able to get him off with the overlaps because I had bat swarms, 2 Terrorgeists, right? Yep. So I had lots of stuff nearby that could push him. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went for the gamble on that because I thought he would flee quite a bit with the style of army he had. Yeah. And he went for it, and because I'd set up to do that, and he hadn't spotted the potential danger, that kind of did it for him. But I mean, he himself's coming back to Warhammer after some time, so I just think it's a little bit of rust, a little bit of ring rust really. That meant he didn't spot that. He's a very good player. So
you've played him before, haven't you? Like years ago.
Yeah, we played in the final round of an event that he won and I came third because he beat me in the final round 15-5.
Big third.
Yeah, good player. He's good. No. Not a matchup you want to see when you know the quality of what you're fighting and this avoidancy widows, which can be really tricky.
As well, yeah.
But it come out right for me, so that was good. Then I played High Elves, game 3, cavalry heavy with Sisters of Avalon. That was Josh. No, Josh.
Is it Josh?
Yeah.
No, that was day 2.
No, Josh. I played day 1.
You sure?
Yeah, Antonio. I played day 2.
I love the fact that Max could barely remember his own games, but he's now telling you when you played.
So
my mind doesn't recognise my own events. My own
That
days.
was a tricky game. I felt like I got into a really good controlling position. A big fiery convert come off on my block, and I just couldn't dispel it. I threw 4 attempts to dispel it and failed.
Wow.
I mean, after the second one, you say, you know what, just have it. I'm not
Yeah, but I was looking at him thinking in a minute he's going to be able to charge this and get my Vampire Lord for the points. I had no choice but to keep trying to stop it because I was going to I could potentially lose the Vampire Lord out of that because of that.
Yeah.
So he played really well, and it was a really tough game. And I think if I'd have got a little bit of luck on the dice, could have got a better result. But sometimes it just doesn't flow that way. And he put himself in the best position he could put himself in. I was probably my favourite game of the weekend. It was really. A really tactical game that really felt like it was swishing and moving as it went on. Finished the first day on what
was the result in that one?
12-8. I won it, but it wasn't massive again. So 22-39. So reasonable. My comp was I think -2, so it wasn't a huge comp. -1, -2. It wasn't a big score. And then day 2 I played High Elf List A. Sort of, it was a Highlander version of High Elf List A, so it was a Lariel, big unit White Lions, unit Phoenix Guard, Quadrian on a Frost Art.
Yeah.
And then 625 points score.
Was that a unit of Reavers, unit of Silver Helms and some Sea Guard?
I know Archers and Spearmen.
Oh, for the
20
pluses.
Archers, 20 Spearmen.
Archers and Spearmen are the +1s.
Yeah, and then Silver Helms and Illyrians.
Yeah.
And then he had BSB, which I think was a Sea Helm one.
Oh, okay. Another plus.
Tough game. Always going to be a tough matchup. I kept my Hex Race behind my blocks actually, and I thought this was probably the thing that won me the game if I'm honest. Because I kept them behind my blocks so that he had all those magical attacks that could engage him and kill him.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get to them
Couldn't actually
because
go there.
they were blocked off. And then when he got close to me and started to try and kind of put the counter pressure on, I then flew straight through my own blocks and his blocks, which meant they were then beyond him, out of our sight, and they went off and got all his core points for me.
Nice.
Which worked really well for me, so I was really happy with that.
Yeah.
I screeched off the gooses. That's what the
Gooses.
Frost Arts. That's what they do. And then it just came down to the grind. I chose to kill the Phoenix Guard rather than trying to kill the White Lions because I knew they'd have botwood. Did have botwood. So I killed the Phoenix Guard and the White Lions. I blocked off until they engaged my Crypt Horrors, which are actually a reasonable counter for them. Actually, they killed Lariel.
Nice.
And then died, but
You got that.
they're less points than a Lariel without it being the general. And that really turned
her being the level 4 wizard.
That really turned the game over for me. Then
White Lions magical attacks.
Once that had happened, the speed of which that I kind of started to garner points and take control really helped. Scored the mission 750 points, which meant it was 20-0.
Nice.
Wouldn't have been without the mission, but
The mission one was
power of the mission.
Kill scoring units.
Kill scoring units.
Which are units of the flag, basically.
He had 4, so I got to choose. So I picked Archers, Spearmen, which are really easy for me to get if I get the Wraiths through, which is exactly what I did.
There will kill them.
Will kill them. And then I picked the Phoenix Guard because they were the easier of the 2 units to try and put down.
Yeah.
So it came up nice for me there. That was a tough game that worked out well. And then I played my brother in the last game. We were on the same point score in the last game. I think John might have been on 1 more point than me. And I said to Mark, we're right next to each other in the draw. Can we have like a bit of a grudge match? Because I can't remember the last time me and John played a game of Warhammer, to be honest. And we were both sort of laughing and joking about.
I remember. North members.
Oh yeah, so like a year and a half ago. A good year before that. So we had a bit of trash talk. It was a good laugh. I said to Mark, look, no one's asking you to make like hard work out of it. If the draw's not right, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But Mark said to me, you guys are on the same score. You're 1 point difference. So go for it.
Yeah.
Which was cool. He said you'd have been drawn against each other anyway. I was like, cool. So we give the game a throw. And the wheels just came off for John, really. I made 2 20-inch charges turn 1 into like backline stuff that you wouldn't normally make successful charges into, but did.
Yeah.
One of those was needing a double 6 on a hex race, but I thought, well, I might make him fail the terror check, so I'll give it a go. And got a unit of crossbowmen. I was like, alright, cool. And they were the flaming shot ones, so I was thinking, don't really want them getting my horrors on my gooses, so I'll try and take them out. I thought, well, he might fail the terror. Didn't fail the terror, but I just rolled 2 6s. My dice was so stupidly hot. He failed 2 charges with the witches.
Oh.
He declared 5 charges in the game, he failed 4.
Oh, wow.
The one he didn't fail was like a 3-inch charge. It was like he needed to roll like not double 1 on the dice and he was in.
Yeah.
It's the only one he failed. He charged witches at my zombies twice and failed both times. Wow. The second time he needed a 4 on the dice and rolled a 3.
Oh.
So it just I can't describe it as anything other than I had some tough moments on day one where I felt my dice maybe didn't turn up, or I felt my opponent's dice did turn up, and that I sort of had those really tight games. The Combok incident would be a good example where I tried 4 times and just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
And they weren't poor attempts, they were 5 and 6 dice every time I tried.
Yeah.
And I still didn't get the dispel.
On like a what, 19?
19, and I'm adding 4. I needed 15 and I couldn't do it 4 times on 5 plus dice. So, yeah, it was tough, but I felt like they all came back ridiculously in that game. I just could do no wrong.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. By the time I hit like a Curse of Years on the Witches, rolled ridiculously a lot of 6s, he failed loads of ward saves. I screeched the Witches, I put 2 screeches on the Witches in one turn, rolled an 11 on one Terrorgeist, a 10 on the other. And he was within 6 of the Aura Dark Majesty, so he lost an additional wound on each one effectively because of that. So honestly guys, I can't really say a lot. I can't remember the last time I had a game where he did that.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of just...
And just everything.
Everything I wanted to happen came up. I think he killed a unit of Hex Race and a unit of Dogs. And I told you. It was ridiculous. So obviously that was a big 20. But that was really probably... because everything came up trumps, that was probably my least challenging game in a way. It shouldn't have been. Should have been really tough because he had so many tools. Well, he had Purple Sun on Morify, he rolled it.
Okay.
Tried to cast it on the first turn, failed to cast.
Probably bad. Well, it would have been worse if it went down the aisle.
No, tried to cast it on the first turn, failed to cast. Tried to cast it on the second turn, I used my scroll on it.
Big sad.
And then I killed her. And again, it was like I did exactly 3 wounds to her, and he failed all 3 ward saves. It was that sort of a game. It just didn't matter what everything I touched turned to gold. Everything he touched fell apart.
Yeah.
So it was just one of them. And I'll play him. We had a game years ago at an event where it was the last round. We were drawn really similarly. We was drawn up on the last round against each other, table 2, table 3.
Yeah.
And he did exactly the same thing to me. He had Lizardmen, he dropped rocks on turn 1 on some archers. And it's my own fault. I had 2 bolt throwers. It was 5 3/4 inches away. Both of them panicked.
Ugh.
Then I had another 2 bolt throwers. He shot both of them with 2 units of skinks and wiped them out. Now skinks are good, but it was like I need 7s, so he wasn't poisoning, but he still got the wounds for it, and I still failed the saves. And he had exactly the same as me. He had the perfect game.
Yeah.
He had the perfect game, and it just didn't fly for me. So it does come around, I suppose. But that second day really saved me, and it put me into 3rd place.
Yeah, so a good result overall.
Yeah, I'll take that. You know, he doesn't like top 3 finishes. Is a great finish, and there's a lot of players there, a lot of good stuff, and I had a really poor day 1, so I wasn't even sure it was possible to get that far up the draw after what was a very kind of, I say a poor, I don't want to sort of oversell my skills when I say a poor day 1. I played some fantastic opponents day 1, but you know I didn't get the results I would want to get if I was thinking of challenging for a top 3 position at a GT, coming out having dropped effectively, coming out having lost a 20-0 on the first day, equivalent points. I was thinking it's probably not doable. So yeah, good result for me. Surprising result, in a way, but it just proves the thing we always say, doesn't it? Like, keep playing your game. Yeah. Stay focused. Don't worry on the people around you. Don't get yourself on tilt. Don't let the results get in your head. Yeah. Just keep playing and see what you get. And obviously,
play what's in front of you.
That's it. And it came off.
I got a lovely mug shot of you at the end of the weekend as well.
You did, yeah. Thank you. It wasn't a great picture.
It hasn't gone out. It's still on my camera.
Okay, well it can stay there if you want. Even better, you can delete it. You've got a penchant at the moment for deleting things we need.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. Kick a man while he's down, yeah?
Sorry, guys, there's some footage we really needed that Max deleted, so...
Cheers. I feel bad enough as it is anyway.
I've been roasting you a lot on videos lately, and I'm starting to feel like it's becoming like potential workplace bullying, so stop.
Good thing I've got a HR department who is Scott.
Oh, that's not a good thing for you.
No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for me.
No. I don't bullying. I don't know what you're talking about.
Character
building.
It's just banter. We do not condone workplace bullying. I just want to put that out there.
We don't condone bullying of any sorts. We are actually friends.
Unless it's off Max, then there's probably a good reason for it.
No, Scott, we can't be saying these.
But yeah. So North members. So London Legends. Cheers. I had a great weekend.
Nice to actually get to an event because we don't get to go to many.
Yeah, and to try and kind of play to win, which was nice. So, and then you guys went to. I talked quite a bit there.
You did.
Sorry. Go on.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Shocker.
No, yeah. Alright, funny.
We went
Where's
to
HR?
Greetings from the Warp.
It was there. I think they specialist games weekend is what it was called.
Yes, it was
a weekend thing But on the Saturday, they had a 1-day, 3-game, totally uncomped, bit different for us, Warhammer Fantasy event.
So you guys took fluffy, fun lists, right?
No. Well, we thought everyone was going to be bringing the filth, so we did bring the filth.
Yeah.
I had a lovely fun list in my box for this.
Don't lie. I read uncomped, and what my brain hears is take the filthy stuff.
I mean, well, everyone in this day and age with us, if you hit uncompt, you're like, okay, we'll bring the filth.
Yeah.
Bring something that you're never going to be able to bring to like an actual like comps event.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to use that sort of combination next time round. And see what you get.
I mean, you can, but the comp's going to hit you rightfully so hard.
I mean,
what was your comp?
Mine was a -9, which you may be thinking.
That's shocking. I don't know how you take a list.
Which you may be thinking, Max, that's a pretty harsh comp.
Yeah, that's
Scott, what was
mad.
yours?
16.
Well, plus 16.
-6.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Scott took a -16 Wall of
Yeah.
Burgle Kairos double skull cannon.
And I'm going to just
Yeah.
say that I'm really sorry I didn't get to attend, because it sounds like it was a great day, and I missed
It was a
some
good
really
day.
good pals that we know really well that were there as well, which was lovely. But my list was only a -7, so mine wasn't that bad.
Only a -7.
I think the next, if it had been...
Well, I've just dropped that one, so that's over.
Let's go.
if it had been comped with our comp, I think the next closest list was a 0.
Oh my goodness.
Which was Rob Nixon.
Which was Rob Nixon. Yeah, he bought his... actually, surprisingly successful, I think it's fair to say, Warriors of Chaos Slanesh list.
I love the fact that it has been successful.
Yeah.
I do love that it has been successful.
Yeah, I very nearly didn't win against it. I very nearly drew or even lost.
So do you want to
I did end
start
up playing
with
him.
yourself, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, so I played a guy called James game 1 with Dark Elves.
Not me.
Again ended up playing Dark Elves twice, actually. It was not... Yeah, definitely not a traditional... competitive Dark Elf list.
I think he was.
It
I think
was-
he was sort of relatively newish to the game.
Hadn't played 8th edition for a while.
And what?
Had mainly played 6th
And it's-
previously.
And then come and play you.
And then comes and plays me. However,
No,
he
I'm
did
not. I'm not saying.
and I am quoting. I know I am quoting.
No, I am digging.
It's nice that even when you're getting smashed, when you're playing someone as nice as you, that is genuinely what he said.
I think he's just pandering.
If you
to
want
ego.
to write in and say that was a lie, I'd love to hear it.
Do you remember
But
his
yeah,
name?
James.
Okay.
James. Yeah, it was lots of units of sort of 20, maybe 25. I say lots of 3, I think, Blackguard, Executioners, and Witches. Then 10 cold ones, or 9 with the Dreadlord on a cold one. Charybdis, some Dark Riders, and some crossbows, I want to say. Level 4 wizard. It was... Yeah, it got a bit stuck with the terrain, I think it's fair to say as well. There was a lot of impassable terrain, buildings, that sort of thing, just getting in the way. So I couldn't get everything where he wanted it.
That can be really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
Particularly when you've got a list like that where it's a bit more kind of, it's going to come together rather than
Yeah,
want to be
and
standalone.
it did mean that I had to place my big block of Plague Bearers with Epi on one side of the table, and then my Beasts and Kairos and basically everything else on the other side.
That's right, you heard it, guys. Big block of Plague Bearers with Epi.
Oh, yeah,
And
it was,
Kairos.
It was 630 points of Plague Bearers.
So core.
It was my entire core in one unit. Yeah, so I did have to split my army up as well.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That really isn't an issue for that army. So a unit of Beasts went into the Blackguard and the XX each, killed them eventually, sort of ground them down. And the Charybdis, I think they got as well. The Skull Cannons didn't like shooting the Charybdis, apparently. Kairos didn't actually do much.
I love how
that
as the story goes on, we find out more dirty stuff that's in his list.
Yeah.
The
Kairos,
Skull Cannons didn't like them.
Kairos didn't do a lot that game. He fireballed, mid-level fireballed 5 Doomfire Warlocks. I was like, I'll kill like 1, maybe 2. Killed 3 and they panicked off the board.
So didn't do much, did he?
I got an 11 on the 2d6. And then after that, did like
Yeah,
nothing.
they are actually only leadership 8. That's probably their 1 week stat in that way.
Yeah. But after that, didn't really do anything. I don't remember him casting spells, to be honest. Like, I went to cast them, but just didn't get them off.
Game. It was all. I just want to point out the missions themselves were rulebook missions.
They were. So game 1 was Battle for the Pass.
Yeah.
Game 2 was...
It was the meeting engagement where your stuff can not turn up on the board.
Yeah, and then game 3 I think was just Battle Line.
Line.
But yeah, that was a good game. First of multiple times that weekend that my Skull Cannons grape shotted. successful. Killed 3 of 3 remaining Dark Riders.
You see, they all mocked me when I kept mentioning the Blitzer skill in the Corn Deep.
They are BS5. They actually hit reasonably well. Game 2, I played Rob with his Warriors of Chaos, which is all Slaanesh. Lots of Slaaneshi Marauder Horsemen, some Hellstriders, lots of Chariots.
It throws you off.
Hell Cannon, and a Slaaneshi Demon Prince. And yeah, really tough. I think I got the spells wrong with Kairos. I think that was my big takeaway from that game. I didn't have enough that I could cast in combat, essentially, because his Demon Prince, I don't think he acquired me. I think he just acquiesced Kairos, which meant I couldn't get away from him. So I sort of went towards him enough that I only would have charged him on like a 6. So obviously didn't get in combat with him, but it meant I could throw my Death Snipes at him, which I think did like a wound, not a lot. I have 3 Death Snipes. I was a bit disappointed with that. But Kairos did last surprisingly long in combat. He did die eventually, but he lasted a surprising amount of time in combat. And really what did it for Rob was he failed was it a charge? I think it was a charge. He went for a charge on Furies, I think. Something that he would have absolutely smashed with his Hellstriders. Needed a 6, I think, on the dice with Swift Stride. Got a 3, which meant he didn't get out of the arc of my beasts. So the beast countercharged them and killed the whole unit.
That's awesome.
I think they killed like 2 of the 3 characters, a couple of the Hellstriders, and the Hellstriders just ran.
Rough. What, with Killing Blow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
And then the Hellstriders just ran. So I got a lot of points out of that unit.
Yeah.
A lot. But I only beat him by, I think it was less than 200 points. Because it would have been a 10-10 if it was 20-0.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
wow.
was.
It was 100 points, so I did get the win,
yeah.
just. Then my final game again was against Dark Elves.
You should have played Dark Elves, didn't you?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, it's all I do. I go to events, and 2/3 of my games are Dark Elves.
This year.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name. Very sorry. Had a slightly more traditional looking Dark Elf list. Horde of Witch Elves with a Cauldron with a Death Hag on. Small unit of Executioners, maybe 20. 2 units of Crossbows, I want to say. A couple of Bolt Throwers. Some Cold Ones again. A couple of units of Dark Riders and a Wizard on a horse with those Dark Riders. Don't think there are any Doomfires. Not from memory. And some Shades, I think, were in there as well. So slightly more traditional, but still.
No Doomfire's been called over.
Yeah. And no monsters, I don't think either. Don't remember them being any monsters.
To be fair, their monsters aren't the best.
No. I got the first turn. Kairos flew up a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'll pink fire. I'll try and hit some Shades and some Dark Riders. Hopefully, make one of them panic. That'll be helpful. I think I had like 8, 9 dice or something that turn, so I had quite a few. 2 dice, pink fire, double 6. Okay, well, Kairos has got a reroll a turn. I'll reroll one of those dice.
Plays
Another
11,
6.
Beautiful.
Okay, fine. Well, let's see what the spell does.
Scott McHugh special.
It was strength 6. It's random strength, pink fire. So it was strength 6, which was solid.
Wow.
Overshot the Shades, but killed 2 or 3 Dark Riders. Didn't panic. Bit upsetting. Miscast. Yeah, it was a 4. Okay, well, we can all see where this is going. Did the classic McHugh special. He went down the hole turn 1 after the first spell.
Naturally.
Are you even the Duke if you don't do that?
I know, right? So yeah, played that game 565 points down.
But Scott, did you lose anything else?
I didn't. No. My Skull Cannons were absolutely on fire that game. It is worth saying.
They are flaming.
Basically, the next thing I did, because obviously my magic phase was over at that point. The next thing I did that turn, I was like, well, my Skull Cannon will take a shot at that Cauldron.
Dead.
Kills the Cauldron and the Death Hag.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Both in one shot. So the second one was like, well, I guess I'll shoot some Shades. Killed like 2 of them with a grape shot. Yeah, and then the sort of next turn, Skull Cannons end up turning around and grape shot again. He's Wizard, who was left with like 1 or 2 Dark Riders.
Sorry, guys. Please continue. I don't know where I'm.
Killed that whole unit. Across the 2 of them, they were killing Bolt Throwers. Yeah, very good.
Killing Bolt Throwers is killing.
Yeah. And honestly, anything they looked at, they killed. Anything I shot them at, they killed. Really good that game.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, got a bit sort of chawed up with terrain.
Noise.
Surprisingly, since when I raise my Skull Cannons, they do nothing.
Yeah. got a bit chilled up with terrain, which meant Epi's block couldn't really get anywhere. But without the cauldron in them, the witches sort of just end up grinding out with some beasts who just killed them after I think 3 or 4 turns. Took them a while to get through them all, but ground them out in the end. And it sort of came down to... Oh, he had Corsairs, that's what else he had. He had Corsairs with a level 4 on foot, because he had the level 2 was on horse. The Corsairs flank charged Epi's unit with the cold ones in the front, but it just... My tally was up by that point because the beast had killed all the witches. So...
Yeah, that's tough.
I was just like... And I still had...
Without
30
the
odd.
the witches are just going to struggle, that's the problem.
Yeah, and I still had, I think, 30, 28 Plague Bearers, something like that. It just wasn't enough to get through them. Although, something I have remembered from my first game, I did wimp out from accepting a challenge from the Dreadlord.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not taking that.
Sorry, that's a lot of
as much as I've got
searching
all my tally, and it would be, you know, the kind thing to do to give you a very decent chance of killing the BSB. Probably not Epi because he's got the 4 wings, but probably killing the BSB. I just declined.
You coward.
Yeah, and then,
I make him right.
and then ended up doing 2 wounds to the Dreadlord that turn, just with unit, and killing 3 or 4 cold ones, and they ran.
That is harsh.
Yeah. But yeah, very good day. 3 very good games. 1 very close game with Rob, actually. But yeah, enjoyed all of them. It was different as well, to take something totally uncomped, and I felt terrible. Honestly, as soon as I got there and saw the list, I was like...
I was up when I was aboard.
I'm the only one that's gone... Well, like, we're the only ones that have gone really dirty.
I went up to Scott, obviously put my stuff on the table, I went, Scott, I think everyone's got a bit fluffy.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest,
Yeah.
I probably would have had enough stuff in my case to go soft. And then,
Yeah.
I would have made you look really bad. I can't believe you've done this. My list is +2.
Yeah.
I would have had enough in there, I reckon.
All I could have swapped... Well, I could have got some Nurglings in there, which would have taken it down to like a -14. No, to be fair, I could have changed up a lot.
Just don't
made
take
it like
Epic.
a -4 if I'd have massively changed it
Just
up.
don't take
but-
Epic. Should have taken Scarbrand.
I was tempted. Wouldn't have changed the comp that much. I mean, it would have still probably been the hardest comp list there.
Probably, but you would have been lucky.
But it probably would have been close to yours.
-10, possibly.
Between 8 and 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what else goes in the list. What about you? What about your games, Max?
So my game,
I know
I
you had
took...
sort of mixed successes.
Yeah, I took my Warriors. I took Death Demon Prince, 3 rolling ones, BSB.
Who takes a flying death wizard? I mean, jeez.
You know, it's not exactly competitive, is it? Flying Death Demon Prince, 3 rolling ones, Wardtove, BSB, Throg, 10 Trolls, 2 units Marauder Horsemen, 2 Chimeras, and a unit of Skullcrushers.
You're a terrible
That's
person.
absolutely vile, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Game 1 was against Mark Borland,
Oh, I know Mark, yeah.
the one with the Pirate Ogres.
Yep.
Yeah, play against him, battle for pass. He got turn 1. Turn 1, he boosts a Bone Crush against my Demon Prince, does 3 wounds to my Demon Prince.
Ouch.
I'm like, it's concerning.
Yeah.
And yeah, just got a little bit shaken up by some of the charges. I got myself out of position a little bit. Managed to get Purple Sun off before the Demon Prince died, because he did eventually die. I managed to get through his gut bust and only killed 3 ogres.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very surprising.
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting.
Lots of 1s and 2s.
Lots of 1s and 2s. So yeah, I lost that game in the end. I think I lost it by about 700 points.
That's
Ooh,
quite
okay.
a big loss as well.
Yeah. So I lost it by 700 points, which was not great. Yeah, as I
So
said,
at least I take like a really dirty list and win with it.
yeah, well, I'm making my games fun.
I've got to be honest though, I reckon that would make my weekend if I played that list with ogres and beaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the game, he was saying, well, this is going to be a bit of a wash, isn't it? And I'm like, no, well...
And as it turned out, yeah, but for him.
But for you!
So yeah, so I lost that game. It was battle for the pass. I had no shooting, so basically both turns I was just moving up.
Yeah.
And Mark, to be honest, as he's right to do, he backed up because I just don't want to take it on in combat like that.
Who would?
That's completely fair.
He's got a point.
That is completely fair. Mark had a gut bust, Unit 3 Yetis, a Giant, some Lead Belchers, a Thunder Tusk, and characters. Can't remember much more of the army in itself.
Did he have the pirate nobblers?
He did the pirate novels, yes. He did
Yeah.
the pirate novels, yeah. He did have those. I recognised them. Yeah, well, after met Derby last year, like, that's where I recognised them. They sat in the studio for about a month.
They did sit here for a little while.
Yeah. So I lost against Mark, and then game 2 I played Empire. Again, I can't remember your name.
Oh, okay.
I do apologise. I can't remember your name. Like
I didn't realise you played Empire.
I did play Empire. Game 2 played Empire, and then it was against. It was a bit of a weird one. It had a steam tank. It had a level 4 on. I want to say life on a horse in a unit of knights. They weren't in a circle. They were just 9 regular knights.
Okay.
He had some halberdiers, he had some spearmen, 3 demigriffs.
Spearmen, well, we all know how good they are from
yeah.
my experiences with them.
Not spearmen, swordsmen.
Oh, well, they are better.
They are better.
Yeah.
He had a great sword unit with a warrior priest in it.
Solid.
So overall, it was a bit of a daunting task, bit of a mixed list, and I went into it. It was me in engagement. All of his army turned up. My demon prince decided to take a nap. Which wasn't too bad. She just basically flew on and went from there.
Kairos decided to not arrive. Not Kairos. Epi decided to not turn up in my immediate engagement game. Forgot that. So, and neither did Rob's Hellcannon, which was helpful.
Rob's Hellcannon is probably the bigger
concern
than Epi, because at least if Epi's not on the table, he can't get killed.
Yeah.
So
I went into that, and then I think it was he put his steam tank up. In front of like my troll unit, and I think it came down to, well, I'm going to charge the steam tank with the trolls because I have Throg in there who's strength 8. He has a strength 5 breath weapon that ignores armor saves.
All the strength 5, no armor saves.
All the vomits. And after all was said and done, I did 3 wounds to the steam tank.
That was shocking.
It was not good.
Yeah.
And then got charged in the front by the great swords, and I think got charged in the flank by the demigriffs.
Ouch.
So this is not going to go well for me. Rolls up steam points. He went 5 steam points. Misfires. Blows the steam tank up.
Oh,
I was like, well, that's helpful.
Cool that he's made there.
So it went like that. So I only had to fight the great swords and the demigriffs.
Yeah.
Frog
helped you a lot.
Frog had. Sorry, it wasn't a warrior priest. It was not a Schlecter.
That
was in a great sword unit. Frog had challenges at Isle of Gods because he wants to become a demon prince. And he went to the challenge with the Archlector, who had the white cloak and the fencer's blade.
Ooh.
So I was hitting him on 6s. I'm sorry, that wasn't Laura Life, it was Laura Lights because he put on fars.
No, right. No.
He put up fars on the great sword. I was like, okay, this is not going to help out. So I lost that combat by 4. It was 4 or 5. So I got a lot of wounds through.
Yeah.
But took a fair few wounds myself. So I lost that combat. I was leash at 4. I rolled 4.
Oh, big.
It was a big one. So I stuck around. The trolls stuck around.
That's it for the Empire, really. They blow their load in that one turn that they charge.
They do drop off a lot, Empire, because they lose the hatred.
So when
and charge strength from the demis.
In the counter charge, I chucked the demon prince into the rear of the demigriffs.
Oh yeah, that's not going to go well for those
and
demis,
I think
is
I
it?
charged a chimera into the front of the great swords.
Yeah, neither is that, to be fair.
That's painful.
So
as an Empire General, my insides wince.
Yeah, so the demigriffs, they didn't kill all the demigriffs. Demigriffs ran away. I found a catch on a demon prince, which just upset him.
Yeah.
The great sword stuck around because they're stubborn, and I can't get rid of the Archlector because I don't have a breath weapon anymore. So I'm hitting on 6s.
Just stuck in the challenge.
Just stuck in the challenge. So they were like leash at 9, stubborn. I was like, okay.
What about the stomps though? Were they not helping?
Stomps were helping out. I was killing them.
As in like the Archlector.
The Archlector. I think he failed to win the first one. The second round, I think he passed his ward save.
Yeah.
Or passed a save of some sort. So yeah, stuck around leash at 9, stubborn. I was like, okay, this is going to go. Carry on. Everything else, my Skull Crushers were wiping out units of halberdiers and swordsmen as their want.
As their want
is. And the Chimera into his level 4 on the horse in the Knights. The Chimera managed to grind through him.
No, really?
Yeah, they managed to grind through him in the end. So I got through that. And then, it was just a case of just basically mopping bits and pieces up, I'm afraid to say. It was like, after I passed the Leash of 4, after I passed the Leash of 4 break test, I was like, that's... I'm not going to say it, but this is kind of looking now it's going to be game.
Yeah, that was big.
I mean, blowing up his own steam tank, I was like...
Yeah. Big call going for 5 steam points.
I'm not sure why you would.
I've never actually seen a steam tank blow up with like more than 2 wounds.
Yeah, more than when it's like, well, it's going to die anyway, so...
A lot of people do that, and I do think there's a tactical error in that sometimes. I've said it before, you just generate a 1 and you just sit on there and hold something up.
If it's like turn 3, but if it's like turn 6, but if it's like turn 3 and you're in combat with something that's going to kill you...
I would
you
say
want to try and do the damage.
The explosion didn't do much. I mean, it killed like 3 great swords, 2 swordsmen, and maybe.
It's going to do like nothing to your
I
trolls.
think did a wound to my trolls.
Yeah.
So they did that. So I think I managed to get everything in his army. But I think the Architect died the last turn because I death sniped him, which was
So
upsetting.
that's the way you counter something like that. That's
Yeah.
really, really tough. To do.
So did you
Did you enjoy fighting something that doesn't get hit in combat? Right? Did you enjoy that? Because I'm sick of it.
I never had that problem. I was hitting everything on a 4 and poisoning it on a 5. So.
Oh, you know what? I didn't have to roll to hit. I was just going vomit. Didn't have to roll to hit.
And this is the thing that I say about trolls all the time. It's why I really, really rate their competitiveness. Because I'm like, it's so versatile. Oh, well, you're not going to hit me, mate. But actually,
Has Throg got a normal vomit as
He
well?
does.
Has he just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
rest?
But I was just trying to attack because I was just going to try and get rid of him. 'Cause he
You
was
got,
like-
you got to remember, man.
I think I'd have just been vomiting. every
yeah,
turn.
maybe I
You've
should
got to
have.
remember, man. He's got to justify those 190 points. I can't even say it straight away.
Yes.
You think that's 2... He's strength 6 basically, isn't he, Throg?
Yeah.
So that's a strength 5 and a strength 6 auto hit every turn.
Yeah, maybe I should have gone. Maybe I should have been going.
I'd
with
be
those.
vomiting him with him every turn.
So yeah, so I won that game. I think I won it by. It was a 20-0.
Without doing that.
I think it was a 20-0 at the end of the day.
Did they break in the end then, the great swords?
I killed them all.
Yeah, okay.
Just they,
With a
And
Chimera
then the
and that in
Architect
there,
is not
you'll
stubborn,
kill
so he
him,
runs.
yeah.
Yeah.
the BSB that was in that great sword unit stuck around, decided to hold his ground. You know,
brave of
and then got
That's
stomped
brave
on
of
by a
him.
troll.
Dear.
Got eaten by a troll.
Oh, dare I
Not
So,
like
yeah,
that.
so that was game 2, and then game 3 I played against Tom Meeker, who was one of the ones pretty much running the events.
Yeah, he's part of the Greetings from the War
Yes.
team.
And he was using Beastman.
Yeah, Bishman here.
And it was,
I love the fact we both went there.
it was Beastman with no marks. which
Yeah,
is like-
Army Book Beastman.
It was Army Book Beastman, which in itself is not a great start for you.
No.
I think
No.
Tom
That is
had
a dodgy looking.
He had 2 units of Ungol Raiders, 2 Lone Pigs, 3 or 4 Chariots,
I've got bugmans there if you
a
want.
unit of Gore with additional hand weapons, I want to say. About 26 Besta Gore, 5 Minotaurs, a Gore Ball, a Doom Ball, not a Doom Ball, sorry, a Beast Lord, a level 4 on Shadow,
It's ruined.
and then he also had Slug Tongue.
I like slug time.
Before the game starts, Slug Tongue goes off, doesn't hit anything, roll Demon Prince. That's a 6, mate, take D6 wounds. He took 3 wounds.
That's
He did.
scary.
He did 40. I think he rolled 4 wounds on him. I think I passed the ward save. So I was like, that is a concern.
That is clenching time.
Turn 1 or above, both my Demon Prince are now on 1 wound in 2 of those games.
Yeah.
And then that was I don't want to say it, but I think that might have been the high point of Tom's game.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say
Well,
it.
I'm going to say it anyway.
We played on. So I got turn
I should
1.
hope so.
I'll call it there, shall we?
I got turn 1, I moved up, I cast Doom and Darkness on his Bestigor. He dispelled everything else, which was fine. Turn 2. So his turn
Cause
1.
terror and run him off. This
Oh,
the lambing special.
Oh, tight, this is my story!
I'm hoping he did my special.
So his turn 1, he moved up, he stuck some Ungor in front of Slug Tongue. Slug Tongue had Purple Sun, and they basically ran up to get in front of the trolls and went, "Hey, you cast Purple Sun, those are free power dice for Ungor."
Yes.
And he's like, I hadn't even thought about that. I was like, yeah, that's what they're for, mate. So he cast Purple Sun, he managed to get it off. I think I managed to stop it by 1.
Ooh.
I managed to stop the Purple Sun, and then my turn 2, a Chimera charged Bestigor. Chimera Demon Prince charged Bestigor. Terror test, failed. BSB reroll, failed.
Oh, huge.
So the Chimera chased them, and like you said, he chased them. They ran 11 inches, were an inch off the board edge. The Demon Prince was 21 inches away.
Declares.
Declares the charge, they were off the board.
Such a powerful tactic.
Declares the charge, they were off the board, unfortunately, and the Chimera and the Demon Prince both redirected into the Minotaurs.
That would do it.
They went into the Minotaurs, and I think I left. There was a Gore.
Lazily blending this.
There's a Gore Ball and a unit champ left. I think all said and done, they took a lot of wounds.
Yeah, that is a lot.
The trolls killed the Ungor Raiders that were in front of them.
No, really?
Yeah, surprisingly. And then
I'm sorry, I just love how seriously you got the word surprising.
and then his turn 2, I think he moved like his Gore unit around and went from there. And then the trolls and another Chimera charged the Gore. The Demon Prince managed to get a Bubble Soul Blight off, and I think
Such a good spell.
there was only 3 spells. I had 5 death spells of Demon Prince the entire week, the entire day. I only cast 3 of them. Purple Sun, cast that twice, and then just Soul Blight and Doom
I
Darkness.
thought you just said you sniped off.
Oh, I sniped off the Arch Lecture as well, sorry. I cast that one. Once.
What snipe? Do you remember?
Fate of Bunia?
Yeah.
I think.
To be honest, against an Archlector, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, Fate of Bunia is better because it's toughness. He's toughness 3, isn't he? Arch
It's
Lecture?
4.
Oh, that's 4. Okay,
Strength
same
is 4.
difference.
Just wins on a 2.
Just wins on 2. So, against Tom, that was another, I think he got a unit of dogs in terms of his points. And I got his army.
Yeah.
So that was another big...
How many points are those dogs?
30.
Ah, I only lost my Furies in the first game, which is 7.
So was it the dog? No, you got 70 points. I think it was the... You might have got Unit of Horsemen.
Ah, okay, so we were tied.
I think we were tied. Something like that. It's something on... Sorry, no. Unit of Horsemen and dogs. You got 120 points off me.
Yeah, I win.
You win that one.
My first game I did, sorry James, I did only lose 70 points of Furies.
Why are you sorry for me?
Not you.
So, yes, that was...
I see what you mean.
So I think overall I got about
James,
6,000 VPs, I want to say, over the course of the day. Because the event was mainly done on VPs if you were tied for places.
Yeah, so it was win, loss, draw, and then if it was a
Standard
tie, it was
rulebook.
VPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of placing, you didn't mention your place, did you, Scott?
I didn't, no.
No, so in terms of placings, I came second. So I've got about 6,000 VPs. Rob Nixon came third. He got
did.
about 5,000 VPs.
Yeah.
Scott, where'd you go?
I came first with over 7,000. Yeah. It was, I think it was just under 7,500. So not quite all of the points that I played that weekend.
No. So you came first.
No.
I came
Which
second.
was Rob's fault. I blame Rob entirely.
Well, I did. What was quite bad is that when I went up to get my second place, someone did say out loud, "You can tell where this is going, can't you?"
Yeah.
I was like,
Ouch.
That was really the gut punch right there.
That was the gut punch. But lovely bunch of guys. The entire event was
That was the gut punch. Lovely bunch.
lovely bunch of guys. They were quite nice, to be honest.
Yeah, everyone, I had a really good time there. Everyone I played was very nice. Was very nice about me taking the fifth.
They were a bit they were jovial about it, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, I like we say this. No one was sort of said anything bad to us or was horrible to us about taking the. You can't. It's toy soldiers at the end of the day. Come on. As much as I didn't want to go, when I saw the lists, I felt bad about taking a -16. I had fun using it. It's a list I'm probably never going to use.
Some people might disagree that it's that strong,
Yeah.
It's only a -16 in our impact.
Yeah.
A lot of people might think this week.
might be a demon.
It is weak to Purple Sun. I'll give you that.
It is Demon's Army, so it's low tier. It's not competitive.
I don't know where you're getting that from.
But yeah, so overall it was a good day for us.
Yeah, it was.
We came second and first. We had a nice Burger King dinner.
We had a nice lunch actually.
Lunch was lovely. It was a
Yeah,
barbecue.
it was barbecue.
Mm.
I had a cheeseburger. It was very nice.
I also had a cheeseburger, which was a bit of a dangerous gamble for myself.
And
Yeah.
suddenly I'm really pleased I didn't have to share the car home.
Yeah.
No, the car journey was fine, to be honest.
It definitely made me want to go to more of their fantasy events because I think this was their first one, or at least the first one they've done in a long time.
I think
for
it
fantasy.
was about their first.
But they do run like 40k Heresy.
Right.
There was a Titanicus event.
There was
in
a
the same hall with us.
events. And, Tom was going on about they do have what they call the Titans Owners Club, in which a bunch of people bring down about 30 odd Titans.
Yeah.
Ranging from Warlords to Warhounds and stuff like that, and they
Yeah.
play a massive game with all the Titans using scaled up versions of Adeptus Titanicus rules.
Yeah.
Which that sounds really cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
They-
nice big space. It was in like a school, wasn't it?
Yeah, the hall next to us they were setting up for day 2, which was going to be Necromunda and Middle Earth.
Yes.
For day 2 gaming, which
Yeah.
which looked quite cool. Went in there and saw the boards. It was
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to have a look, but
Interesting.
yeah, it certainly made me want to check out some of their other events and see if we can get to some in the future.
I will say this: it brought back my love for Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah.
It did actually reignite my love for the pointy boys.
That's interesting because
Pointy
you
boys.
were saying before you weren't feeling it that
I
much.
wasn't feeling Warriors beforehand, but I got to the event and then played it. I was like, I love my Warriors. It really got me involved. I wanted to start again. I've been on a purchasing spree recently.
No,
Yeah,
really?
you really have actually.
I've bought my 3rd Demon Prince. I now own 3 Demon Princes.
Of that new one.
Yeah, the new Demon Prince, which was painted up in corn colours.
See.
So to go alongside my Warriors Chaos, all my Demons are corn.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I get to play with
Yeah,
those again.
I mean, to be honest, they're really competitive.
Yeah, I can see it.
Demon Princes of Khorne in Demons of Khorne.
Yeah, I can see it.
I keep seeing things I've not done.
And then I bought Sylar Rathringrim. I bought my final box of the New Chosen.
How many have you now got?
I bought 5 boxes of the New Chosen over the course of about 3 months.
I hope
4
you
months.
own some shares in Games Workshop there, mate.
So I now own about 50 Chosen all told. Because I'm using the start collecting Warriors of Chaos as my Sword and Boards Chosen because they're a bit more
Fancy.
fancier than my standard stocky Warriors of Chaos, which I do love.
I'm so fancy.
But yeah, reignite that. I bought Sylar Rathringrim. I bought a box of Chaos Spawn because you need Chaos Spawn. I bought a War Shrine.
A Raw Shrine?
A Raw Shrine.
It wasn't cooked.
I bought a War Shrine, which is proven
No,
to
seriously? Nothing?
no, which is proving to be a bit
as written.
proving to be a bit of a monster to build and paint for. Building's fine. Painting it is a bit of a monster. There's a lot going on.
You also bought Scar Bloodwrath.
I did also buy Scar Bloodwrath, yeah. Because, you know, I just want to own everything that's Chaos.
Yeah,
I'm probably never going to use him because he's trashed it.
Yeah. It's
Maybe you could take him to the next one of those events. I'd love if you guys took soft list and everyone
Everyone
rocked up
then-
with the hardcore
Yeah.
next time.
No, well, this is fair.
This is
We deserve this.
This is Retribution.
Yeah.
But then, beyond that, we
Wanted
had...
someone to spoil it for the rest of us.
I'm going to
Oh,
segue us
come on.
into the Triple Crown GT, if we can.
Yeah, so which we've had 2 of this year.
We have 2 Triple Crown GT.
I've just
3
messed
teams.
this up.
Well, that's upsetting.
Yep.
Which, overall, they were good weekends.
Yeah, very good weekends.
The
One
first-
in May, one in June.
May 1 was, you know, a light temperature. Was quite nice. June was scorching.
Do you know what though? I will say the venue worked really hard on both of those to keep it nice and cool in there.
Yeah, I must admit, the venue
Yeah,
itself
venue was
was
great.
actually really nice. It was actually really temperate.
Yeah.
Really proud of this year actually.
Mm.
Just seeing how many people had a great time. Both events, over 60% of the players got at least one favourite game of vote, which I just think shows how people conduct themselves at our events. And why, you know, no, we can only thank the community for what they do because
All your paints are over there, aren't
they are, yeah. What are you after?
Paints.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, massive props to everyone. I can't remember the top 5 exactly. I can remember I want to say top 4 from the first event.
Oh, I think I can remember the top 4 from the second.
I can't remember the top 5 though. I can't remember what was in 5th at the first event, unless we want to quickly look
I
it
can't
up.
remember what was in
Was
the
it-
second.
it's
Was
on
it Rob
our-
Nixon?
Oh, he might have come 5th.
We'll just look it up.
I'm going to look it up,
But
guys.
we can tell you that there was a spread of at least in the top 8. I think there's at least 6 different armies this time.
Do you mean the
Like
top,
the top 4 of
both
each event, which
Yeah,
which
right.
is a massive positive for me because it shows the kind of the pack doing its job. It shows that like every army can really kind of flex its muscles. Certainly, top 3 of the last event of the second one. We're going to show you an interview with those guys very shortly.
Right,
Yep.
so do we want top 5 for...
Do top 5 for both.
Top 5 for the May GT. In 5th place was Carl Blackthorn.
And he was using
Vampires.
Vampire Counts.
He
So
was
we have
using-
Vampire Counts in 5th.
Yeah, he was using Mortark Vlad with 2 units
Yes.
of Harbingers and a Horde of Graveguard.
Yep. So different.
4th place was Scott Seckhold with Wood Elves.
Wood Elves.
Big
yeah.
Laryl incarnate Wood Elves.
Big
Yeah,
Laryl,
he did,
yeah.
In 3rd place was Davey Trigg.
Yeah, which was another Wood Elf list. That
Another
was
Wood Elf.
all the dragons in the world.
That was
Very
Sisters of Twilight
cool.
and Dragons.
Yeah.
In 2nd place was James Irwin with Bretonians.
Another really cool thing to see. Brett's making up the top end.
Yeah.
And then coming out on top in the first event was Steve Toll with Dark Elves.
Dark Elves, not a huge shock, really competitive. So 4 different armies in the top 5 at the first event,
Yeah.
really good.
And not High Elves.
And
or
no
demons.
High Elves or
The-
Demons,
or
which
Warriors.
is huge because they've been strong contenders.
The highest Demons player there was Matt Pass
Yeah, what was that?
at 9th.
Yeah, so nice to see Demons not, because the last couple of years Demons really dominated, so
Yeah.
nice to see them
And the
not
highest
dominate.
High Elf player there was 13th, which was John Levin.
Yeah, he did not have a good tournament, John.
No. Yeah, he had a bit of a weird one for
He
himself.
made some mistakes and he played some people that really knew what they were doing, and
Yeah.
that cost him a little bit of again ring rust. I think his ring rust was really poor there.
So top
Using
5,
Miles, not done it for a long time, cost him.
top 5 for June.
June.
So 5th place was Phil Bibby
That was Dark
with
Elves.
Dark Elves.
So
yeah.
we're sticking with the 4 factions we've got so far.
Yep. In 4th place was Andrew Tunnadine with Beastman.
Yeah.
Beastman, yeah.
Andrew played really good games though. He played
did.
really well. He had a big plus as well. He opted to go that way.
In 3rd place was Luke Blacksill, Dr. Luke Blacksill with his Warriors of Chaos. So 6 different armies.
6 different factions so far across the 2.
In second place was James Coldrick with Bretonians.
Yeah, Bretonians were very much the bridesmaids.
Two second place Bretonians. And then in first place was Joby Bibby with Empire. The June GT.
Up the Empire.
June GT was all Bibby all the time.
Yeah. I've got to be honest though, that makes me really happy. Almost half the army's making the top 5.
Yeah, one of the 2.
Across the 2 events. Not one faction that's really sort of smashed the domination.
Yeah.
Woodell's not anywhere near the top in the first, in the second GT, but quite strong in the second. Empire topping out the second, not getting
Dark
anywhere
Elves
near
only
in the
getting
first.
to 5th.
In the second, but winning the first. So it makes me feel really positive about the shape the pack's in, and again, so much of that comes from
top 3 for the June GT was a split of 2 points.
It was wild,
106, 107, 108.
Yeah. Very, very close. Which I think
it wasn't much more in the May one either.
No, again shows the health of the kind of the balance in a way. And I'm not trying to sort of blow our trumpet too much because it comes off of the feedback we get. It comes off of everything that happens. But it does make me really proud when I see how close the results are and that one faction hasn't dominated 2 events.
Yeah. The May GT, it was third and second both got 103 TPs.
Yeah.
But then James won out on VPs because he got 11,050, whereas Steve got 8,245.
Yeah.
But Steve Saul had 109. He was cleared by 6 points.
Yeah, 6 points.
Yeah.
But only one more point than the second GT's winner. So again, if you look at the 2, all very tight scores. So yeah, really positive stuff. You guys came down, you made it amazing. We had such a good time on the Saturday night at both events. Such a great laugh on both the days. It's just something special, isn't it, when we get those events going, because you guys come down and you make it so. Yeah. So it is hard work. I'm not going to pretend like we don't really know we've done it on Monday morning, but
like we always say,
much.
Yeah, it's you guys coming that makes the weekends as good and as enjoyable as they are for everyone, not just us.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way you conduct yourself shows, because people come again and again. And
yeah, had a few people at June specifically say, oh, you know, it's their first time coming to one of our events or their first time in a while, going to any fantasy event, and they really liked it, can't wait to come back, can't wait to get back into, you know, events, fantasy events. Yeah, really sort of good
positive stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't get round to interviewing the winners from the first GT.
I think we were a bit blown out by the end of the May GT.
Yeah, the May GT was crazy. I mean, to be fair, they were both crazy weekends.
They were both crazy
with May, we'd had some different sorts of funs and games across the 2 days. That things that don't matter to you, but like writing and things like that we have to do, or catching stuff up. Nothing that affects the event, but affects how tired we might be on Sunday night, basically. So we didn't get those, so apologies because we didn't get interviews with those awesome guys, but we are going to, largely finish this video. We'll probably come back and say bye by showing you the interview we did with the top 3 from the second event. So that's Dr. Blacksil, James Coldrick, and
the Bib Man.
The Bibmeister.
The Bibmeister, Joby. I'm sure he's going to enjoy that.
The proprietor of Sivjit's X-Scroll.
But I love him because he took Empire and did it with Empire, and he's a man after my own heart. So yeah, check it out, and we'll see you guys shortly. So I have the pleasure of being here with the top 3 and the best Highlander, because such is the skill of one man that he can score 2 awards. I'm drifting in and out of shot because I want to keep them in shot, and also because I look terrible at this time of the day. So in third place we had Dr. Blacksil's wonderful Warriors of Chaos army. He's also the winner of Best Highlander. Luke, what do you think was the kind of key elements for your list this weekend?
I think the manoeuvrability was really, really important. I think the Warp Fire Dragon was, pretty awesome. I, took Death this time instead of Slanesh, so I wasn't having, playing with Death, you've got more spell options at lower casting values, so I wasn't having to 6-die stuff, so it didn't go down the hole. I think that was, that was very important. And I just think that the manoeuvrability and the power of it was enabling me to kind of finish off opponents where, some perhaps being less slightly soft dramas, I might just have, broken but not destroyed.
Again, I think there's been a lot of excitement like this year across both the events with more monsters. Do you think the Law of Death came into its own with that as well?
I don't think so much in my games. I think I understand on other games that that has really been a thing. I think it's the snipes that's the thing. I think I had Skylar in my list, leadership 10, and you're throwing out like a 2-dice or 3-dice Spirit Leech was just an auto stop for my opponent, it seemed, and so then I was able to have more free reign in the magic phase. So I do think that particular power of that particular spell, Spirit Leech, is really very considerable, which is why I think Death is as powerful as it is.
well, thank you for coming down and restoring the Dark Gods to their glorious place in the
Rightful
top
best,
three.
and it's also, I should say to the camera, I mean, I've come forth at goodness knows how many tournaments, to the extent that I almost felt like eternally jinxed. So to have broken that jinx, albeit by coming third with for the merest margin, is what I was here to do.
It's a step up, and that's
it is a step up, and that's all you can do, right?
So thank you for coming.
My
in
pleasure.
second place, Bretonians reign supreme. They were second at the first event. They're the only army to duplicate, actually, because the first event we had Wood Elves third, Brett's second, and the winner was Dark Elves. Obviously this time Warriors Chaos third. Brett's coming in second. So for you then, James, what was the power? What did it for you?
The counter to the whole monster thing was heroic in a glow. He killed about 5 monsters, I think, over the course of the game.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he's done his work as my lord. Other than that, I mean, just like I say, with the bigger sort of monster lists and things, having a lot of high strength attacks that move fast.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good at doing that anyway. And when you're coming across single entities that can't necessarily take a huge number of wounds, that's really helpful. And I went Law of Heavens this time, normally I'm a Law of Life guy, and that harmonic convergence just made that even more of a punch. Really.
I've been really sold on Law of Heavens with
Brett's.
I know you're a big fan, and the Duke's a big fan as well. And I just think it's that the ones, because it affects so much harmonic convergence, and the same with the Midnight Wind. So often your opponent maybe only has a 5-up or a 6-up save, even if they've got really fantastic armour, and suddenly they're re-rolling potentially all or 50% to all.
It took me a while to break
saves.
out of the crutch of life, because when you lose knights that much and you can't get them back, it's upsetting.
It's tough.
But the Heavens is definitely served me well this time round.
Did you fight a lot of those bigger monsters that can stomp on your knights?
I think about 3.
So a fair amount.
Yeah, I mean the Bone Grinder, and I fought a Necrofex cannon. Oh no, Bone Grinder can. The Necrofex gets 2d6, I think. But I fought that in a practice game, but yeah, that was painful. Don't think Magma Dragon can. I fought a Magma Dragon.
Yeah.
So luckily, I managed to dodge most of them. Chemeric Titan and Necrofex are the 2 biggest, I think.
Yeah, they're the ones that we saw a couple.
Oh no, I fought Bone Grinder. 2 Bone Grinders I fought.
Did your Lord HKP both of them?
Yes, it took him 3 rounds to do the second one though.
Because he doesn't have Colossal Beast, the Bone Grinder, does he?
No, it just,
No, you can still do it now,
yeah.
which is
So
pretty
it
awesome.
was delightful. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, getting stomped on was new for my entire knight army. But the unicorns also are a big one. I totally understand the comp. When I saw the -1, it made me cry a little bit. But the double unicorn, yeah. As soon as you fail one of those charges, and you can just throw a unicorn in the way. It's like, right, well.
And there's such low points. So you really turned me to seeing that was perhaps just a little bit too bit spicy.
There's another innovation with unicorns. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
After looking for yourself.
Do you find that, because obviously we changed, I think 2 years ago now, we changed the allowance for Bretonians so that the virtues are separate to the magic items. Has that had a big impact for you, do you think?
Yeah, it just makes your characters feel a bit more punchy. I think being an older book, some of the pricings are a bit skew-if, and you don't necessarily mind paying for them. It means you can't necessarily build a character optimally. So having that one virtue separate is it's a lovely build. I don't think it overpowers things. I mean, I'll admit that the build I take is probably one of the most sort of cheesy ones you can take, hands down. But there's just some really nice things you can do with it as well. Yeah. It's just a really nice little, and it just makes you feel like you compete on that sort of combat arena in the same way as other sort of godly heroes like Vampire Counts and Chaos, which Bretonians like the lore kind of leans towards.
It fits to that, doesn't it?
I also think that it's that change that you've made there. I mean, the Lord, he's already got quite a big allowance, but it allows the Paladin to have, for example, Virtue of Knightly Temple or Virtue of Heroism and still take some magic items. So I found that the biggest marginal effect is on the Paladin rather than the Lord of that change.
Yeah, interestingly, if we look at lists, what we used to see before that was a lot of Paladins stuffed in units.
Yeah, the old character.
Now we actually see less, but they're of a better kind of better vintage, if you like. Yeah, which I think is also kind of. Obviously it's a competitive event, but it's nice to see armies that kind of look like you'd expect them to look. You know, not a bus of 4 or 5 guys in one block.
The character will always leave the sour taste in my mouth. I don't do it personally.
and then on to gold. It's worth pointing out 106, 107, 108, but he's calling to me because he is using one of my preferred factions, which is Joby's Empire. So you were at the last event as well. You picked up a return ticket for this one.
Yep. I knew the Empire was going to be good. I didn't know they was going to be this good, but I knew they had a good shot just because of the war machines and the monsters. I think I knew it going into the last one, but didn't act on it because I'm so used to playing Chaos, and they're very cheesy and a good build.
It's interesting because I said to the guys at the last one, I walked around on the sort of Saturday morning, and I sat down with Scott and Max, and I was like, if I had my Empire, I'd feel pretty good about being here, because I think what I'd want, like kind of Lorelei and some artillery and perhaps a steam tank, and your list was a lot of those things, right?
Yeah, it was. So the artillery was obviously the backbone, but actually it didn't do that great for me. In the last 3 games, it done okay to 1 dragon, but it done nothing against Dark Elves, my second from last game, and it done nothing against Warriors of Chaos, who had the Bone Giant?
Bone Grinder.
Yeah, Bone Grinder and Demon Prince and stuff. But actually just the steam tank charging in does enough.
Yeah, they are still great, aren't they?
And then it's the chaff. If you look across the tables, you don't see a lot of it anymore. And I think, with the characters included and archers, probably had about 10 things I could chaff people up with. So it allowed me to shoot for like 4 or 5 turns on the good games.
On the good games.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because it's interesting that you say that you didn't see as much, because I think perhaps people are getting quite excited about potentially very aggressive or big stuff builds, but actually they're leaving out the kind of the core, the basics, if you like, the basics of good Warhammer, which is good movement, play and chat.
So for me, my best 3 units were my Pistoliers. Just because they allowed me to operate on the board the way I wanted to.
It's nice seeing Highlander bonus come in there in a way, because I think because you've got 3 fast cap units, you're taking a hit by not getting Highlander. A lot of the fast cap core choices, if the fact that Highlander is a big bonus there, that's one of the things you're compromising yourself with. You're probably not going to have as much chaff. And so and it's priced as it is.
So for the other lists I build, generally I only have 2 chaff, whereas this I've got 5, 6, 7, because I think
definitely.
But it's not just that. If you can get a flank with a steam tank into a flank of something, or knights or demigriffs into the flank, you're gonna win that combat.
Yeah.
And then that changes the game itself. So last 3 games, the combat's won me more.
Yeah, when you faced a Witch Star in one of those games, right? Exactly. That's very vulnerable.
Two games.
Not 1, 2 games.
That's a tough day out, right?
Double Witch Star.
Yeah, double Witch Star. Yeah.
Well, just before I let you guys go and go home, because I've stolen lots of your time already, thank you for a fantastic event. Congratulations to all of you. It was very hotly contested at the end, as I say, 2 points between third and
go back in
first.
history and have a look and see whether the points for second and third might have been enough to have won previous Triple Crowns. I'd be interested to see that.
Last year was 109. Last month.
It would be interesting.
I would expect there's probably going to have. There was 1 year that the winning score was like 91, 92, and again it was closely contested. But this year it is quite closely contested. 4th and 5th, I think there was only 4 points behind you in 5th.
Okay.
So if you think between like first and top, there was only kind of 6 points. So it was still tight, and it seems to be getting more and more that way. I think as generally people are getting sharper, and dare I say it, the pack is perhaps balancing the field a little bit better as well, and so the finish is getting closer every time, which is lovely. But thank you so much for a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for a fantastic
and I look
weekend.
forward to seeing you all very soon. Are you all at Derby?
Yes.
I'm at the narrative.
You're a narrative. So I'll see you all before the end of the year, which is what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go back to probably me in the studio. Well, as you can see, me and the Duke have given up.
I've got a lot more done than I thought I would, actually, to be fair.
Yeah. What I should have said was, thanks, James. So disappointed with myself. Sorry, let's just start that again. Hi. Thanks, James. We've given up. But Max is not, because,
He hasn't actually done much.
Yeah.
I have.
To give up on.
He's not a broken man by the blending on the
I
arm.
painted some gold and black.
You did paint some gold and black, and we're proud of you for it.
Who's putting more armies?
This is the second Blood Bowl team I've
Yeah,
painted.
it is the second.
It
You've got
is.
nothing on this.
I mean, who's putting more units into their Warriors Line for the channel?
He's literally like a third of all the Blood Bowl teams. 40%. 40% of all featured teams.
This guy right here.
Anyway, we've talked about that. Blood Bowl is coming very, very soon. We're really excited about that too. Hence us finishing things off.
Hence Blood Bowl. Come on, guys. Blood Bowl's here.
No. Hence us finishing things off. So, thank you for joining us once again for another instalment of Loose Warhammer. Totally original. In no way is it based on anything on TV or any other format in existence.
I thought you were going to say robots in disguise.
And we will see you all in 4 weeks' time with a new guest. They'll be in the studio. They won't be on footage.
5 weeks' time.
5 weeks' time, because we've got Derby Deathmatch, which is an event special again. That's coming up. There is a couple of other events that have spoke to us about using their pack. Using our pack for their events. When we get the details, we'll post them up on our social media. So keep your eye on, because things are really getting exciting and really cool right now.
By the time this goes out, no, it won't. We probably won't have heard, but maybe.
But if we've heard, we'll make sure it goes up.
Derby's going to be better event because we have to set a lot of things up.
It's going to be much easier for us.
Yes,
it's going to be hotter
and hot,
possibly hotter. Yeah,
it's always hot.
Yeah.
But we are looking forward to Derby and getting up to see the awesome crew at Boards and Swords once again, and see all of your happy, smiling faces there at 9 AM and your sweaty, tired faces there at 6 PM.
I was going to go with 9:30, but
what 9:30?
Just remember, there's always an evening with the Chieftains to look forward to.
Yes, there is. If you want to take him for that evening, just return him at the end of the night.
Turn up with my sports coat on, my buttons undone like that. He's like holding the microphone. Welcome to the evening with the Chieftains, ladies and gentlemen.
And on that bombshell, I suppose we'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for joining us. Have a great month.
Bye bye.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe and share. Then head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a Knight of the Realm today.
what are you doing, mate?
You alright?
Do it for war!